Welcome to KRL.
He's going on the outside, down the inside. Rob Dog on Wilco. Oh, don't touch, fellas. Side by side, nothing in it. Hackett and Thorpe. Thorpe and Hackett. But V8 man is very, very close. Is he going to have a go down into the hairpin? Oh, Wilco stays out wide. Leaves the door open for Dane, and Dane goes down the inside and takes the lead, but now Wilco's going to have a crack back to him around the outside. Can he get it done? Jimbo breaks a little bit early. They almost touch, but Jimbo comes out of the final corner onto the start-finish straight, and I reckon he's going to hold on. Wilco, yes! It's riding in 11th, Mr. Wright. Looking to go down the inside of Nobby Doldrums, and he's going to get that job done. And I reckon Bathurst, is he going to win out? Can he hang it around the outside? They touch, but Mighty Murph gets through. Nights a week, Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Kid Buyers YouTube channel.
It's time to go racing for KRL.
Game and
keep it on the black stuff, and I tell you what, he needs to get back on the grass in a minute and a half. He just needs to stay off it long enough to, oh, look at that, he is absolutely giving it everything. But don't forget about Jimbo Jones, who's boy, I tell you what, is he going to fully send it or not?
Oh, this is going to be good.
This is
Thunder and OGT as well. We're close together. So there's 3 battles going on here, Trev.
We got three battles. Where do you look?
Message I read it, yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It could be good evening if you're watching, wherever you're watching, I should say, right around the world. It's time for the championship finale for Tier 2 here at Bathurst and the famous Mount Panorama circuit. And well, it's not looking too bright out there at the moment, and that could be the reason why Jimbo's just gone off the circuit there. As we can see, long qualifying session. It is an enduro round this time out. 20 minutes for qualifying, 45 minutes for the race following that. As I welcome my co-commentators, both Jason Wilkinson and also El Majacco. And well, Jacko, I'm just looking at the track out there, and it's not looking like the visibility's too great, and someone's turned the lights off. What's going on?
Well, it does appear to be roughly 5 AM, I think, according to what I see on my screen, which I don't think is what we had forecast, but I think we're going with it anyway, so it'll be a bit of a challenge for these guys, but I'm sure they're up to it.
And you can see there that track temperature a little bit down, of course, than what we should be expecting. It says fast track conditions and 17 degrees track temperature, 17 degrees air temperature. Yellow flags out already. You can see I think we're missing a couple of drivers here tonight, but on the screen there, Jimbo coming through to start his hot lap, and Nobby Nuts as well there through turn 1. You can see there starting his climb up the hill. Caleb as well, already up the top of the hill. Beautiful circuit, this one. A bit of a tradition for KRL. We always finish at Mount Panorama, of course, in the recent championships that we have completed. And, well, you're not racing tonight, Jacko. We've got our Tier 2 champion, that's right, once again back for another week alongside us. And this is one of the most, if not the most challenging circuits, isn't it, Jacko, on any game, but especially this one?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So many walls that you can have an argument with, and none of them are going to lose in that argument, got to say.
That's for sure. As look at this, we've got... there we can see Wilco Storm Racer 666, Good Vibes 64, another, I don't think that's not a name that rings a bell in particular, but Wilco has joined us. Are you there, Jason Wilkinson? Welcome to tonight's Tier 2 finale.
Yes, I'm here. We'll just quickly set up the aircon for tomorrow because it's going to be hot. And both the race of Tier 1 and actually the weather here in Melbourne. But yeah, we're all good. We actually got rain in about now happening. So it's pretty much going to be the first one over the line is going to be the fastest.
Well, interesting there. You said rain in 1 minute. And as soon as you said that, I reckon I started to see those first drops on the screen there. But here comes Caleb, who sets the opening time of this session, 2 minutes 03.159. Not too sure whether we're going to see that magical 2 minute mark here this evening, but we might see it tomorrow night for Tier 1. But Voodoo goes 5 tenths further back in second place. Nobby Nuts coming across the line, so we're seeing these boys set their first laps of this session. And a big hello to Voodoo, by the way, who's also watching this one as well. And he's just commented there a little bit early, but Jimbo now with a 2:03.0. So the time's starting to tumble early, and very important, isn't it, Jacko, to get these times in now because the conditions aren't going to get any better around this track.
Absolutely. If the rain does actually fall and continue to fall throughout the entire 20-minute session, presumably the first lap will be the best, unless the second lap miraculously is also a comparable grip level, but I don't think it will be. These guys need to get these times done right now.
And the pressure is on, isn't it, Wilco? They've got to get around. As we can see, Rick sets a time very slow there, so these conditions are getting worse, and you can see that the drivers... Rick has had a moment there. Rose racing as well. We might. He's back in the pits now. Rick, we might head to the points there. As Good Vibes 64. Is that another new face, Wilco? We've got.
Yep.
Got
that's OGTs, mate.
OGTs, mate. Good Vibes. So good to see him joining us for the championship finale. We might take a look at those points and the championship points here. If we can just get them up on the screen now. So there you have it. The Tier 2 points. Jacko has won, of course, 143 points. He cannot be beaten here tonight, but the battle is still on for the minor places in the championship, as they have, it's been pretty close there further down the order. Voodoo on 90 points for the best of the rest. Kilroy 84 and Rose Racing on 80, so very close there. So either one of those three drivers could finish second in the Drivers' Championship. Nobby Nuts, 66 points, OGT 56, Binger on 50, and Jimbo on 43. So there are plenty of battles to keep an eye on tonight in the championship fight. It may be over at the top, but it's still on for the rest of the places. We head back now to Good Vibes, and we can take a look there. Kilroy's, you can see these conditions. I'm just taking a look at Good Vibes here, fellas, on the camera. And those conditions are getting very, very difficult, and I'm doubting that we're going to see any times quicker than that 2:02.7. Bingo has just set
it was
the
Jimbo
time.
first. Jimbo first with the 2:02.7, and then Bingo goes a 2:02.7, who was the pole position man for the practice round here as well. I think it was a 2:01.7. So you can see it being a green track and a little bit damp, times a little bit slower, but yeah, look good.
So how long does it take, Wilco, for these conditions? I mean, we're seeing it rain out there at the moment. 13 minutes left in this session. So is it instant? Do you lose that grip straight away, or is there a little bit of a changeover period? Can you get a quick lap in if you're quick enough around here, or is it just straight away the grip level's gone and that's it? You're not going to improve your time.
It's a bit of a gradual loss. You've got to sort of adjust your driving a little bit, but yeah, it can go pretty quickly too.
Jimbo there coming up across the mountain. Those walls we spoke about earlier this evening already catching a couple of people out. Jimbo there getting very close to those walls, looking nice there in the number 91 Ferrari. And there is not much space at all now as he starts his descent back down the mountain. Jimbo currently 12 thousandths of a second. Look at those beautiful camera angles around here, aren't they, Wilco? and using them in our intros, of course, which you saw a moment ago. But Jimbo now, 202.766. So Binger, my Bingerling, is right behind Jimbo here. So let's see if these guys can improve. Otherwise, we might see a very boring end to the qualifying session in the final 12 minutes if no one can improve here. Caleb's 0.3 further back. Voodoo, half a second off, back in the gold Ferrari there. The Prince of Zamunda coming around Murray's corner now, onto the main straight, across the line. I doubt he's going to improve his time, but we'll see what he can do. He comes across, doesn't improve. OGT. And the OGT army, whereabouts are they? Let's have a look at the comments there. Keep those comments coming in. 12 people watching. Where is the OGT army? Let us know. As Nobby Nuts as well. So these drivers look to be struggling
Track's
already.
Just been downgraded to greasy, so it's going to be...
Binger's just come off at the end of the chase.
Yeah,
it looks
I
like
don't
the
think
conditions are too
fast
difficult
times.
now to improve.
So we might see...
Might be a bit of a dull last 10 minutes here, which means I guess we can throw to all the thumbnails we've got, Trev.
we certainly can.
First one.
Great little segue there, because
champion one?
let's take a look at this now. We've got the championship one here. Look at this. Big thank you to Voodoo, the Prince of Zamunda, for all season creating these beautiful graphics, thumbnails as well, each and every week. And there we are. Look at that. The Tier 2 champion. He's got the crown there as well. That's you, Elmer Jacko. You probably can't see this screen we're looking at. I'm looking at anyway. But there we have it. Of course, we don't have this one for tomorrow night, Wilco, because it's still a bit up in the air how that's going to pan out. But look at this.
We have both ready to go.
We certainly do, don't we? We have, if Mighty Merv's out there watching, we've got both ready to go. But there it is.
He's seen it and he approves.
Now, Jacko, absolutely dominant season, mate. You came in and absolutely
Jimbo,
dominated.
massive crash.
As sorry, we'll get back to this. Who's somebody's
Sorry,
on?
that continued. Jimbo's crashed and he's returned the pit. So yeah,
Jimbo's
continue.
returned to the pit. Sorry about that. We'll continue, Jacko, mate. A couple of words from the champion. How did you see your season, mate? You had it all wrapped up very early indeed. You've joined us in the commentary box for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, actually, that wasn't my choice, but nevertheless, I understand why the choice was made. Yeah, it was a great season for me. In fact, I picked the game up just before the first round and came into it a bit on the back foot, so probably Tier 2 was about right for me then. I got some pretty poor results in the first 2 rounds, but then it just seemed to click. I think worked on setup with Jason and Murph for the 3rd round, which I think was Paul Ricard from memory, and from there it just seemed to flow quite nicely. So thanks to those two for those contributions, and yeah, it was quite a delight to race with some of these guys. A pity that some of them left mid-season, in particular GRT, who I had quite a good battle with, I think at Hungary at one stage. But yeah, it'll be good to have another season with you guys, especially in Tier 1 next season.
Great stuff, mate. You've been driving absolutely magnificently, and yeah, awesome season, fantastic stuff, very consistent, and you got the job done. I'm just going to say, Wilco, we might flick over to these.
Say that's another segue to the moderator votes now. So we got
yes,
we did a big voting pool, which again Voodoo set up. So there's the first moderator votes, which are not these ones. These are the other ones. We'll go through these first. So these are all the drivers voted for who they think they're like the most, or obviously, there we go, now you've changed it on me. So we got most race wins, obviously Jacko with 4 there, and then Harvey, GRT, and I think it was Binger's had a win, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. And then for the most podiums, we got Voodoo, OGT, and Binger. And the Enduro champ is still up in the air at the moment, so Jacko is leading that. Obviously he's not racing tonight, so if Voodoo and Rose Racing don't, get some points, Jacko will be the Enduro champ as well. But then most pole positions, Jacko with 2, and driver of the day, Jacko and Voodoo shared that prize. So now we'll go to the votes done by the drivers. So everyone voted on things like who they think the best overtaker is, the most consistent, all that stuff. So we'll flick those up, and there they are. So the most consistent driver voted by drivers was obviously Jacko. So that was a pretty simple one there. Voodoo had 6 votes, and OGT had 4. Cleanest driver, Voodoo had 6 votes with that, as you can see on the screen. And best overtaker, again, Voodoo got best overtaker. So I guess, Jacko, when you're starting at the front and leading pretty much all the race, you're not going to be overtaking anyone, so that's probably why you didn't get the votes there. But most improved, and I can vouch for this one, Rick Oztech has been definitely one of the most improved drivers.
Oh, I
Where is he
totally
at the
agree
moment?
with that.
slippery conditions. He's 6 seconds off the pace, but that's well, he's on the lap now, so we'll see how he goes. But yeah, he was sort of in no man's land in the first few rounds, and he's definitely changed the cars a couple of times to try and suit his driving style. And yeah, definitely most improved. And then race of the season. So that's again, everyone's voted for the race of the season. And of course, there's got to be Kyle Lamy. That was not only a good race for Tier 1 and Tier 2 on-track action, but just the way everyone got behind it and everything. It was really good for not only Voodoo and Caleb, but all the cancer sufferers. And then the unluckiest driver is a bit of funny on this one is apparently Jimbo. So yeah, take that with a pinch of salt. I don't know if it's unluckiest driver or driver to cause the most incidents, but yeah, so Jimbo, Voodoo and Binger for the unluckiest driver. So yeah, so well done to all the Tier 2 boys, and we'll announce the Tier 1 winners of said awards tomorrow night.
Great stuff. It could be the Maldonado Award there. No, just joking. But yeah, no need for a recount there. Absolutely magnificent stuff. Thank you to everybody who voted and everybody who's watched us throughout the season. As well, it is not getting any better as we get back to qualifying now. Yellow flags out at the moment. Now we're green again as Binger in the pits. Jimbo out on track, and look at that. It's just gone straight on there, and absolutely
no. Lap, so pressures are low and temps are cold, so yeah.
No grip, and
they're trying to improve, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, we're not going to see too much, I don't reckon. In fact, we might not see any improvements at all. That's right, with less than 6 minutes remaining now. It is raining on top of the mountain, and this track, as we all know, fellas, is very difficult at the best of times. But, well, I reckon Binger might have it here for pole position. Are we expecting any rain in the race, Wilco? Do we know that?
Not sure. We won't find out till we get into the race.
No, we won't know.
Fun fact about rain, we had a practice session last night and it absolutely chucked it down. It was started off in these conditions. I think it was greasy or maybe damp, so a little bit wetter than it is now. And then it went to a big thunderstorm for about an hour. So it was an hour and 20-minute session off the top of my head. And it was a good thunderstorm roll, probably about 45 minutes or so. And then the last maybe 20 minutes were was sort of lighting up on the rain, and then there was no rain for the last 10 minutes. So they sort of had a bit of a tram track going where you could get on slicks if you were ballsy enough. But it was sort of that real crossover period where it was quite fun to drive on. I'm sure, Jacko, I think you were there late last night, and yeah, it was definitely fun on those tram tracks trying to keep in those lines.
Yep, if you just having a look at It's the Wolf there, he's pulled off to the side of the circuit. Jacko, was there an incident there with somebody? I'm just seeing drivers go all over the place.
I think there were 4 cars in a very close proximity there just after Hell Corner. I think they all managed to stay out of each other's way, but it was certainly quite close.
Very close, and it is close at the top. If you're just joining us, Binger is on provisional pole position there with the 2 minutes 2.766. Jimbo not too far behind him at all, but as you can see, the rain is coming down, and it's going to be very, very difficult to improve if anyone's going to improve. And I think that's Nobby Nuts there. Just having a look on my screen, fellas. He seems to be, he's back in the pit lane now. He stopped there heading up the hill, but beautiful Storm Racer there, I think it is. That's a nice livery there in the Mercedes. Looking very nice indeed. And Kilroy currently down there in 8th, and still very close despite these conditions. Jacko, look at that, 7th, 8th and 9th, and 10th down to good vibes. There's not much between this midfield, and there really hasn't been much between that midfield all season, has there, right the way through this field?
Absolutely. In fact, looking down the order, it looks like there's a couple of cars a bit out of position here on the grid in terms of their natural pace. It would be Kilroy and Rose Racing I would expect to be a little bit higher, but they must have been caught out by these conditions perhaps.
Well, the rain pretty much kicked off straight away, so these drivers probably had one chance at getting a dry run in, a chance at getting a hot lap when the conditions were at their best, and then the rain, it's not going to stop. You can see their track conditions are greasy, and yeah, Wilco, get your comments coming in. It's been awfully quiet, Wilco, on these comments, despite the dozen people watching. Boy, and don't forget tomorrow night as well, the Tier 1 finale, Tier 2 finale tonight.
Shootout.
And boy, oh boy, it's going to be a long one, but it's going to be an awesome one to finish the season. And Wilco, we might just get a quick comment. Well, there's not too much happening in qualifying. What's been the preparation this week leading up to the championship finale, mate? Are you just taking it easy, business as usual, or is there anything special you've been doing to prepare for tomorrow night?
A lot of chat behind the scenes with Alan, just trash talking each other. Him saying that I've missed 2 rounds and I'm still going to beat you in the championship, and me saying, yeah, he probably will. But no, just a bit of practice. We all jumped on before. Most of the boys were in. Alan and myself actually did pretty much identical lap times in race pace, so that was good to see. And Alan left before we did sort of quali pace at the end, but yeah, so race pace is looking pretty close between us, which should be good. But again, it's only a shootout for the top 10 tomorrow night, so who we got? We got Binger, Jimbo, Voodoo, OGT, Kilroy, Rose Racing, and then Jacko and myself, Rose Racing. Those boys will get the first 5 minutes of the quali session to set their best time, and then it'll go to the top 10 shootout of reverse championship order. So I think it's Jono, Dean, I can't remember a lot off the top of my head, but then Jacko is third last, then Murph, and then myself. So everyone in that top 10 only gets 1 shot. So in terms of the championship, Murph or I bin it, it could make it very interesting for the race, or if we both bin it, even more interesting. So we'll go through the championship scenarios and all that stuff. We've got sorted out for tomorrow night. But for now, it's about these Tier 2 boys who are still sliding around trying to improve their time, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, if anything, Jacko, that rain looks like it's getting heavier. Just having a look, certainly on my screen, a Storm Racer has gone straight off the track there, and he's got a few mates with him as Binger King is very close here, coming through the final corner, Murray's corner here. Binger King right behind Storm Racer, but I don't think anybody's going to do any better, and Storm Racer's off again, as Voodoo has checked in saying good to see Caleb with a good result there up in P3. That's not a bad effort by him. And yours,
after last week's race, he could have been on for a podium, which would have been very good, but hopefully starting the P3 tonight, Voodoo in front of him, just behind him, that could be good. But Binger and Jimbo being first and second, they've had a few bingles in both Tier 1 and Tier 2 in the last the whole season really, so that could be pretty tasty. But remember, we do have a formation lap. We'll get ready. Everyone's just going to finish the lap, and then we'll be ready for the race. 45 minutes too. It's enduro, remember.
Almost enduro round, and we're almost out of time here. In fact, we are out of time in qualifying. And Binger on pole position. He set that time very early before the conditions deteriorated here at Mount Panorama. But Jimbo, he's got Jimbo alongside him for company there. The unluckiest driver. It's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. But like you said, Wilco, there is a formation lap as well. Caleb is in the pits. I think most of the boys are in the pits. Kilroy out on the circuit, is he? Yep, he's having one last crack at it there, coming towards the end of the lap. Once the camera catches up to him, there he is. And Kilroy down in 8th. And you said it, Jacko, there's a few drivers out of position, isn't there? We said that, Rose Racing. Kilroy's usually right up there. Rick Oztech, most improved, I think he was this season. Kilroy comes through the last corner then, as we've got another driver pop up there. Morning Glory Hash
just jumped in.
Who's jumped in, so welcome to you. Better late than never, as that is the end of qualifying. There you have it. Binger takes pole position for the final time here in Tier 2 this season. And Jimbo in second. Caleb third. Good result for him, as Voodoo mentioned. Voodoo himself in 4th, second row start. OGT, Nobby Nuts, Storm Racer. Get those predictions coming in. Kilroy in 8th, the man on your screen. Rose Racing 9th. Good Vibes in 10th. And Rick Oztech just outside the top 10 there. It's the Wolf. And Mystery Man in 13th. Lucky for some. And the two commentators alongside me there, of course. And
I joined as the wrong car. I joined in my Porsche. Oh, it's wet. We've got a wet race, boys.
And look at this. We are going to jump out. You know the drill. I've just got to jump out. So we're going to get to the intro, then get back to it here. We've got a formation lap before the grand finale here at Mount Panorama. Who's going to be the king of the mountain in Tier 2? Stay with us. We'll be back right after this to find out.
Welcome to KRL.
He's going on the outside, down the inside. Rob Dog on Wilco. Oh, don't touch, fellas. Side by side, nothing in it. Hackett and Thorpe. Thorpe and Hackett. but V8 man is very, very close. Is he going to have a go down into the hairpin? Oh, Wilco stays out wide, leaves the door open for Dane, and Dane goes down the inside and takes the lead, but now Wilco's going to have a crack back to him around the outside. Can he get it done? Jimbo breaks a little bit early, they almost touch, but Jimbo comes out of the final corner onto the start finish straight, and I reckon he's going to hold on. Wilco, yes! Righty in 11th, Mr. Wright, looking to go down the inside of Nobby Doldrums, and he's going to get that job done. And I reckon Bathurst, is he going to win out? Can he hang it around the outside? They touch, but Mighty Murph gets through. Nights a week, Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Kid Buyers YouTube channel.
It's time to go racing for KRL.
Game and keep it on the black stuff, and I tell you what, he needs to get back on the grass in a minute and a half. He just needs to stay off it long enough to, oh, look at that, he is absolutely giving it everything. But don't forget about Jimbo Jones, who's boy, I tell you what, is he going to fully send it or not?
Oh, it's going to be good.
This is
Thunder and OGT as well. We're close together. So there's 3 battles going on here, Trev.
we got three battles. Where do you look?
And maybe quickly send a message to say Jimbo hold 120 after the chase, or hold 100 after the chase.
100 or 120?
100 kph after chase.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it is raining. It was raining in qualifying, and now it's even heavier for the race. As you can see, Wilco there leading them around in the safety car. And if you're just joining us, I think we've lost Binger. Have we Wilco there, our pole position man at the front?
I'm not sure. Jacko, is Binger still in the lobby?
He's currently in the Crocodile in P11.
Okay, cool.
Yep, so he might, will he work his way through the field?
Nah, he'll start at the back, so he's missed the start, which just makes it too messy if you have people trying to catch and pass and get back to position. So for this season, we'll just leave it. If you miss the start, you start from wherever you catch up to the pack.
All 13 drivers are on track, but Good Vibes is quite a way behind trying to catch up.
Where is he?
He's currently coming through Philomene.
Okay, that's right.
There we go. So hopefully he might make that, Jacko. He's got a bit of work to do if he's going to get...
I'm going a little bit slow. I'm going 120 on the straight, so it should be right.
So Wilco there, our safety car man, trying to bunch the pack up as this is very, very wet conditions. You can see wet, wet, wet. That's what we've got on the screen at the moment. 45-minute race. It might be around 42 by the time we get going after this formation lap. But keep those comments coming in as Bob says, let's go Wayne. And Voodoo saying, we summoned the demons. And that's right, the prince, the Nigerian prince, did summon those demons. And the wet weather gods aren't, it's not looking too promising at the moment. But Wilco peels off into the pit lane. And we are ready to go racing. You can see there, Jimbo inherits the lead of this pack now. Caleb behind him, so third position on the grid becomes second as we come through Murray's Corner, and we are ready to get underway here in this race. The finale for Tier 2. Across the line they come, and Jimbo gets the jump early. It's go, go, go for the final round of Tier 2. Jimbo Through turn one, Caleb slots in behind him. Voodoo now up to third position. OGT Nobby Nuts. It's very close at the back. Did Good Vibes manage to catch the back of that pack? Yep, here he comes now through turn one there, and Kilroy looks to be going a little bit slowly. Not sure what happened to him, but look at this already now. Jimbo, as we wait for the camera to catch up here on lap one, Jimbo leading them up the top of the mountain for the first time. Caleb in close behind him. Look at that first second. Slight gap back to Voodoo there as we come up the mountain for the first time of many here. And Storm Racer up in sixth. Look at that. You can see how close it is on your screen.
Oh, Binger.
Yeah, around the outside of the cutting there.
Yep, that was very good by Binger. So he's picking his way through the field. He's already up to probably P9, I think it should be, as he crosses the sector time here. So P8 there he is. So yeah, looking good. Good start for the T2 boys. So it's looking good.
And now he's
already cleared 3 drivers actually.
Oh,
it's the Wolfman. Oh, Glory in the wall, I should say, in the Audi.
And Morning Glory Hash is off the track. These cameras take a bit of a while to catch up, don't they, fellas? But anyway, there we go. Morning Glory Hash having a huge off there. And it's getting worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better, I reckon. Jack Owen, look at the damage on his car. And please don't text me while the race is on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I should have put my phone on silent. But Morning Glory Hash, as he stopped at the top.
Yep, he's
really damaged.
That would be a safety car, but we don't have that control as he's returned back to the pits. But so back to the front.
There we go.
Caleb looking pretty quick at the moment, right on Jimbo.
He's right up behind Jimbo.
Oh, they both run deep.
Jimbo a little bit deep there, and that's going to leave him open for Caleb. And is he going to have a crack at him here?
Big news here, boys. Big news. The track has just gone from wet to damp, so it's actually drying up. It's going to dry up in the next few minutes, so everyone's going to have hopefully got their pressure sorted for dries, because it's just drying up. And in 2 minutes, it's going to be less rain than it is now. So, this could be pretty interesting here.
The other thing to note is that these guys haven't had a wet race this season. There's not been one at all in Tier 2. So this might be a learning situation for a lot of them that may go for the wrong tyres.
What a time to get the first wet race of the year. And boy, what a big week it's going to be to finish this season. But Jimbo still under all sorts of pressure from Caleb, as Snacken has joined the party saying, let's go Good Vibes. He is down in 11th at the moment. Sacred 11, or is that Sacred 9? Get your Roman numerals right. Good Vibes, let's go. So the Good Vibes.
Caleb!
And Caleb, what happened there? We'll
good
go.
Save.
That looked very wide.
He almost wing cupped it. He almost put in the fence at the cut. He's pushing a little bit hard here, so you just got to be patient. Very easy to make a mistake in these conditions, so you just got to drop back a little bit, because Jimbo looks like he's struggling. So he's just got to make sure he's not right up Jimbo's tush, because if Jimbo spins, then there's going to be a big crash between these two. But Voodoo's got the right idea. He's about 2 seconds behind here, so he's going to hope these boys are going to come together. But of course, all these four at the top four are all in a party. As Caleb's hit the wall,
and Caleb's into the wall.
And again.
How far is Voodoo behind that gap now? 2 seconds. It's going to be less than that.
About half a second now.
Half a second now. We'll just wait and see what his mate Caleb's got damage-wise. He's still continuing on. Is he going to let Voodoo through here? No, I don't think he's going to do that.
You're still a little bit far ahead, so it might only be like 5 seconds or so of damage, so it might not be too bad. And you might have to get it fixed when they do the pit stop, which is probably going to be earlier than they wanted. So hopefully all these boys got their fuel and, as I said, strategy sorted, because if you come out on pressures that are too low or too high, it's going to be on slicks. It's going to be pretty hard to keep the car on the track.
And I think these top 4 Ferraris have to keep their eye on their mirrors, because Binger has made up so many positions. He's already on the back of OGT
here. So OGT and Binger going to the last corner.
Earlier this lap on Storm Racer, and he's already pressuring. In fact, he's in 4th.
Wow, look at that. Only on lap 3 of this race, fellas, and Binger up to 4th. Incredible start from him, and now he's off in pursuit of Voodoo, and well, he is looking very racy indeed. And well, he's only what 4 or 5 seconds off the lead, fellas, already in this race. So don't count out Binger at this stage for the race win.
Yes, and of course Binger last night, as I said, we had that wet session. The race was like in these conditions here, as a Storm Racer and OGT going side by side, going into turn 2. But the conditions were sort of a bit mixed, changeable conditions, slippery. I think it was slick tyres from memory, where everyone should probably be on wets now. But Binger was really quick. he was actually leading the race at that stage, and that had myself, Cartu, Jacko, I think Murph was in it for a bit, so they had some big names in that race last night. So Binger definitely got some pace in these changeable conditions here.
And Binger is right up behind Voodoo. He's all over the back of him at the moment. Not sure whether he's going to have too many passing opportunities, but you can see that gap on your screen. It says 0.3 of a second, but it is so close here, and those conditions are getting better. And it was wet, now it's just damp. Those track conditions improving. It'll be interesting to see how quickly they improve and when we will see those drivers coming in. But look at this Binger, who missed the start. If you're just joining us, he got pole position, so he was definitely had the pace. He set that time early in qualifying, 2 minutes 02.7, I think it was, in that session before the rain started coming down.
Storm Racing had a massive crash.
And there's an incident there. Was OGT, or was that Kilroy?
It was Kilroy that hit him, I think, but Kilroy, I think he might have got hit by a Nobby, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it was OGT, because OGT's going backwards, so we missed that. Jacko and I can see the replay, so maybe one of us will
down the inside, by the way, on
watch
Voodoo,
that.
and
There you go. So it's sort of action everywhere here, boys.
Action all over the place there, Jacko. It looked like he just got a good run on him down Conrod straight there and got the move done. And now Voodoo's in the pits, Jacko, nice and early.
Yeah, slick tyres optimum I'm seeing on my screen, so potentially the best move there by Voodoo, as soon as he was dispatched of by the Nissan, which appears to have better straight line speed than the Ferrari, we should note. Yeah, Voodoo, this might be the right call to jump a lot of these guys.
So let's wait and see. So Voodoo now is out of that train. It will be interesting to see where he comes out. And you can already see, Wilco, that rain is getting lighter. And conditions slightly
Still
looking
raining for the next 2 minutes.
a little bit better, but 35 minutes to go. 2 more minutes of rain expected. As Binger now, who's caught up to, well, not quite up to the back of Caleb at the moment, who had that incident earlier in the race. We'll wait and see. Not too sure how much damage Caleb's got, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much at the moment, as he's still ahead of Binger at this stage at least. But I've got to say, boys, I love these camera angles. And as Righty joining us there says, more action than a tie, rub and tug. That's more of an Alan Shep joke there.
Caleb's around.
Caleb's around. And Caleb's around. Well, what happened there, Jacko? I caught the back end of that incident, but he just seemed to lose it at the top of the hill there.
I also caught the back end of it, and I have no further commentary to add to that one, I'm sorry.
I was getting attacked by a dog, so I looked down and then looked up, and Caleb was sideways, and Binger almost T-boned him, but luckily he avoided him.
Simba, well, that gets Binger up to second. My goodness me, he's not too far behind Jimbo now. As we look at Caleb there trying to recover, Rose racing, and Nobby Nuts not too far behind him. Righty says go, Bingerling. And just as I was talking about how good these camera angles are at this circuit, I didn't manage to see that incident. Righty saying, get the dog there, Wilco. So that's a message for you, Simba. And did you take him for a walk today, Wilco? What happened?
I took him for 2.
Well, he shouldn't be that up and
one
about.
One at 5:30, or sorry, one at 6:30 in the morning, and then one I walk earlier in the afternoon. So yeah, he's a prick at the moment.
Not sure what's going on there, but Jimbo still leads this race though, 2.2 seconds, and that looked like he was
Binger's in the pits.
Well, Binger's in the pits. I thought for a second there, Jacko, Jimbo was going to flirt with that pit lane there and just try and put Binger off, but he's kept going on his merry way, and Binger in the pits now. And let's have a look at where Voodoo's come out. Where is he? He's down in 7th at the moment.
As I said before, the people in the party are OGT, Rick, Voodoo, Jimbo, Caleb. Like, it's an open party that everyone can join, but I think from memory it was only those 5. And Kilroy, sorry. So they'll be all talking. So Jimbo might have been saying, am I pitting for dries, Voodoo? Because remember, Voodoo's already on made his pit stop. And Voodoo might have said at the last second, maybe don't, because I'm still sliding. So maybe that's why Jimbo thought about the pits and then said, nah, not yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because it still is raining. So it's very slippery on dries. But if you can get those pressures up and get the brake temps up, it might be not a bad move. You've got to watch out for Voodoo here. He's just going into the last corner now. So could he jump Binger?
A lot of cars have made that transition though in the pits. We've seen 5 green boxes there, and 2 more will be popping up soon for having completed the mandatory
I reckon Voodoo could have the could be in front here. This is going to be pretty close.
This is going to be very close indeed.
Okay, no, I take that back. That's a short pit lane, short pit exit.
There we go. Well,
but he has gained, I reckon. So once these tyres get up to pressure for Binger, we might have Voodoo all over the top of him.
Let's let's have a look then. Binger just getting things up to speed. Caleb into the pits and out of them again, Jacko. So like you said, we've got, what have we got? Roughly half the field, a bit over half the field have made their pit stops. Rick Oztech, Kilroy, It's the Wolf have all made their stops, and Storm Racer in the pits as well. And Nobby Nuts up to third now. Rose Racing in second place. Jimbo still out in front leading this one. As Snackin says, come on, good vibes. Righty says Binger, smart man, pitting before catching Jimbo. And let's have a look. So we've got, what's going to be interesting to see whether this is the right move to pit early. And like you said, Wilco, they're going to have some vital information, aren't they, for the guys that are still out there, given that they're all in the same party chat. Like you said, Voodoo might be able to give them some feedback, but it's our race leader now into the pit, so he's coming as well. And Rose Racing still out there, and Nobby Nuts, they were having a good battle, but now that gap's 6 or 7 seconds, and Jimbo into the pits. So where is this going to see Binger? Is this going to see Binger into the lead, I wonder, fellas? Interesting stuff here.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. And 30 minutes remaining in this race. A big hello to everyone out there watching the finale for Tier 2 here in this KRL season. It's been great to have your company right throughout the year. It's been great to bring these streams to you. As Binger now down at Conrod Straight. Jimbo still in the pits. And it is a short pit exit here compared to some of the other circuits that we go to on the calendar. As is that Rose Racing sneaking into the pits as well. So they're all coming in now. Nobby Nuts as well. And Binger is pinging, says Righty. And Storm Racer heads out of the pits now. And where is Binger? He is coming through Murray's corner, that final corner, then onto the start-finish straight. So, boys, do you reckon he's going to get this done here into the lead of this race?
Yes, he has, because he's going past him now. Jimbo must have had damage, because he's still in the pit lane.
And
now he's going now, so he's going to come out behind Voodoo. He should still get Caleb, which he's going to. But, yeah, that's a big change to lead there.
There we have it. So, Binger, it was a smart move, Righty. You're absolutely spot on. Smart man pitting before catching up to Jimbo. And now he's well ahead of Jimbo. So there we go. Not getting the move done on track, but getting the job done in the pit lane there. And Jimbo coming out. He must be in fourth, is he? I think.
No, he's
fifth.
Third.
Third.
It's, well, Rose Racing. Yeah. So Rose Racing. Yeah. So he'll be P3. Yeah. What takes a while to update, but yeah. There you go. P3 for Jimbo.
There we go. So 1, 2, and 3. That man is P3 on your screen. And Binger now leads this race, and well, only 6 laps into this race, and Binger has managed to climb his way through almost the entire field. So incredible stuff there, and he managed to jump everybody after the first round of pit stops there. Voodoo in second, 2.3 behind him. And given the pace that Binger's been showing, Jacko, it's going to be hard to see anyone really managing to get close to him in this race unless we see some changeable conditions towards the end.
Yeah, well, we don't know what setup these guys are running. Maybe he had more of a wet setup, and maybe the other guys will come back towards him when it dries out. But from what I've seen so far, it looks like Binger has this completely under control, and he just has to keep it on the track facing the correct direction.
And completely under control. We've so far so good for Binger, but we've said those words before. Of course, we won't put the commentator's curse on him. And there was a yellow flag there for something. I'm not too sure what it was.
Storm Racer went off at the chase.
Storm Racer off at the chase. Thank you, Wilco. Binger coming through then, still in the lead. 2.8 seconds, that gap now. And Voodoo's driven a pretty nice race himself, though, Jimbo. We suspect he may have had damage, and that is not going to help right over the curbs there, heading towards the final corner. So, well, I'm just having a look down the field to see where the closest battle is. As Big Shep has joined us.
Kilroy following Good Vibes.
And Kilroy and Good. I think that is the closest battle, Jacko. Less than 2 seconds, I think.
Yeah, so something must have happened to Kilroy during the pit stop phase, because
I think he
down.
was the one that hit Storm Racer, who was going backwards down the
potential damage then. Oh, Good Vibes has lost the rear at the Forest Elbow, spun himself out, and Kilroy picks up that position.
As the cameraman just trying to find Good Vibes there as he comes back down the hill. He mustn't be moving too quickly there, Jacko. We might have to get a better camera here.
He just had to reverse out of the inside loop.
So
he's coming now.
There he is. He's finally appeared. Thank you, Good Vibes, the new boy, who wasn't having a bad race, but now he's down in 9th, and he will have all sorts of damage. The car doesn't look too bad, but will he come in? Will he need to make another pit stop for damage? He's down in 10th now. Potentially he might, Wilco, but Still holding on to P10 then, as like we said that, so something must have happened. We said about Kilroy there, as Bing are now coming up to some traffic, and I think it's in the form of Nobby Nuts Racing.
It's the Wolf. Yeah, it's the Wolf.
It's the Wolf. The other.
It's the Wolf.
It's the Wolf. Sorry, just there's two green cars in this field. And
Whoa!
This is a bit awkward.
Was he just approaching him at the wrong time? No, he's through cleanly there. Wilco was a little bit worried there for a second, but he's managed to clear the traffic, and now it's Voodoo's turn to get past. It's the Wolf.
Yeah. So where is he? Should Wolfie is a good driver, so he should just get out of the way. I think he tried to get out of the way, but Binger sort of had so much more speed, he sort of balked himself there. But we should see Wolfie sort of pull to the inside here. Yep, which he does, and Voodoo goes through. So very good driving there by Wolf, not getting involved in that battle at the first. So yeah, we got a bit of a space out of field. We might have to throw a safety car, Trev.
And let's just stand by, Wilco. Michael Massey or whoever the race controller is might just throw that safety car. But in fairness to It's the Wolf, I guess I did catch him sort of. It wasn't the greatest spot on the track, was it, to try and get out of the way? But it's a bit narrow up there at the top of the hill. But all clean and all through at the moment. Bingham leads, Voodoo in second. The Prince of Zamunda. Why do I keep saying that? Is that's that Eddie Murphy movie coming to America? I think. No, I could be wrong from many years ago. Anyway, just going on like I do. But lap number 8 here. It is a bit of a spaced out field at the moment, and Voodoo in second. Jimbo a further 3 seconds back, or 6 seconds I should say, from him. Caleb in fourth. So a few of these guys have been involved in incidents, all of their own making, but they are tricky conditions. We saw those track conditions go to damp, and we thought it might be drying out. And
yeah, it's still staying at damp, so it keeps on saying in 2 minutes it's going to get lighter, so it must be just getting lighter and lighter. So eventually there's going to be no rain. There's Wolfie balked Jimbo a little bit there, but Jimbo actually slowed down and didn't punt him. So that's good driving there again by Jimbo. But here comes Caleb. Going to try and get around the outside, inside, outside, inside, and inside.
It's the Wolf then, just going well and truly off the track there. He's down there in 11th, so he's outside at the top 10. I've got to say, Wilco, I'm not sure about your weather reports. You said that rain...
It's greasy now, so there you go.
Greasy.
Just stick that up here, Trev. It is getting getting lighter here.
It's not raining sideways anymore. But there we have it. I was about to say that...
You have an umbrella?
That 2 minute... That 2 minute
Where
prediction,
is it? 50 miles away.
That 2 minute prediction of rain was about 12 minutes ago. But anyway, Big Shep.
Yeah. And
Big Shep just joining us. Old Fossil Nuts says he always takes it easy and laid back. And he's referring to you, Wilco, I think. I'm not too sure. You might have to just
He's probably got a couple of frothies there, Big Shep. So
down there at Sinbad's. Let us know if Sinbad's is open, Shep. If indeed I can go down there, might catch up at some point. But Binger leads this race, Voodoo in second, and he has driven a pretty decent race tonight.
Voodoo's not really, Binger's not really dropping Voodoo. It's only, it's been about 3-4 laps now, and it's been, 2.8 seconds, now it's 3.6. So it's, Voodoo's trying to stay on it. And there we go, Trev. If you look up the top right there, in 2 minutes, there's going to be no more rain. So that's what I've been waiting for.
Here we go, 2 minutes, no more rain. I'll hold you to that one, Wilco, with 23 minutes remaining in this race, 9 laps completed. And I'm with you on that one, Wilco. I reckon it was 2.6, I think. That gap, Jacko, I think before, but he's only he's not really streaking away, is he, from Voodoo in second there? But Voodoo's sticking with him rather nicely. It's going to be interesting to see when these track conditions dry out. Who's going to have the pace? It's going to be interesting to see who does have that pace. But Voodoo getting very close to those walls, and it's not something you want to do. But he's had a good finish to the season, hasn't he, Jacko? We saw Voodoo finish second in that emotional race that you won at Kyalami, but he's had a good finish to the season, Voodoo, and he's racing rather nicely here as well tonight.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think Voodoo's a man of the podium. A lot of the times, I think this season we've seen him at least 5 times, I would imagine, on the podium. So,
going with those moderator votes, it was P4. Sorry, 4 times.
4 times on the podium. Yep, that's why.
In terms of Binger's pace, I don't think he has any reason to drive any faster than he is, because he'd be risking his own, his car at that point with the walls in the close proximity they are to the track on this circuit, and he has no reason to create a buffer because there's no necessarily more pit stops unless rain returns. So he's just doing the right thing, staying out in front with a cool head.
And interesting point there. I like it. So there might not be, as you say, Jacko, there might not be any reason. He might feel like he's got Voodoo covered here. Interesting stuff coming from our Tier 2 champion, a man, of course, who spent plenty of time out front. So great stuff. Lap 10 now in this race, and 3.5 seconds that gap. So he could be just maintaining his position out front there, 3.5 like we said. So it's Nissan out in front there, and what do we got? 6 Ferraris?
6 Ferraris and then 4 Bentleys.
4 Bentleys. So, well, 6 by 4, there we go, and there's a Merc, and that's the safety car, and then there's a Porsche, and that's you, Jacko, so there we have it. So it's Nissan out front.
Binger's representing the rest.
So Binger versus the Ferrari and Bentley show.
But I did just check the lap times, and both Binger and Voodoo did a 207, or Binger did a 207.2, and Voodoo did a 207.0, so definitely slippery. So remember, pole was a 202.7, I think it was. So yeah, we should see some lap time start dropping now, which could pick up the pace and hopefully bring everyone back closer together.
And speaking of close together, let's have a look at the drivers lower down the order. Thank you, Murray.
Kilroy and Rick.
Rick Oztech and Kilroy. I was just looking at that gap, which is nearly nothing there. And in fact, it's less than that because Kilroy's through now and up into 7th position now. So we were talking about how spread out this field was, and all the time we've been missing this battle between Rick Oztech, who runs slightly wide out of turn 1 there. And is he going to have another crack here at Kilroy, who's further down the field than what we expected tonight? But that's a spicy little battle, but I reckon Kilroy might have the pace on him there, Wilco, and he's through and off on his merry way. So he's ruined our order there too, Jacko. Look at that. We did have 6 Ferraris, now it's 5, and then a Bentley, then we've got Rick Oztech and a Bentley sandwich. Very disappointing indeed. As you can see, Kilroy on his way up the mountain once again. Less than 20 minutes remaining in this race. We are across the halfway mark. So more than half the race gone, less than half still to go. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's Binger in the lead at the moment, out of Murray's corner. And look at that, Voodoo, now that gap, 3.4 seconds. Let's just have a look to see what that gap is. It looks a bit more than 3 seconds, but Voodoo coming across the line. Where is he? There he is. And if anything, it looks like he's
Voodoo,
just
I've just been paying attention. Voodoo's faster in the last sector, so which is a bit strange because the GTR is very quick on the straights. So maybe Binger's got a wet setup on with higher wing, and Voodoo's just gone for his dry setup with lower wing. Because I'm pretty sure he's running about 8 or 9 rear wing, which is probably, well, it's not low wing, it's probably medium, but compared to what you could run, it's probably lower than what Binger's running, because yeah, that first section, look at that, 3 seconds. Let's see where it is coming out of halfway down the straight, which is when sector 3 of Conrod is when sector 3 starts. So we'll see what it is over the top here, as long as these two don't make a mistake.
So
we're also starting to see Caleb close in on Jimbo, it looks like, for P3.
Yes, Caleb's got some pace.
So
it'll be a battle for P3.
Who, once again, we have had some spicy battles for P3 during the course of both Tier 1 and Tier 2 during this championship. But you're right, Voodoo, we'll keep an eye on that gap. But like you said, Jacko, Caleb and Jimbo as well. That is getting very close. Look at that. Caleb is...
Oh, as I say that, Caleb just hit the wall.
There we go.
That's probably quite a bit of damage.
We've given him a wrap, Jacko, and then he's let us down. The commentator's curse striking again, but well, that could be the end of that. So Jimbo is in P3 there. We're interested to see what sort of damage.
Here we go. Here's the 3 seconds, and now 3.6. So yeah, that's 6/10. Binger pulls over the top of the mountain. So if Voodoo can catch up, he's obviously going to be quicker in the straight. So I'll no, you've got to stop. So it looks like the track's starting to come. I'll check the lap times this time round, as Binger's last lap was 2:05.8, so he's definitely dropping 2 seconds since the last spoke. So here we go, comes across the line. It is a 2:05.3. Voodoo 2:05.4. So they're pretty straight trading lap times here.
They are neck and neck, and that gap back to 3.4. So Binger maintaining
Jimbo
that
did
gap.
a 2:04.8. And Caleb with 2:05.9. So Jimbo was actually the fastest of the top 3 then last time around.
Well, there we have it, and that rain has stopped now. So you can
Still
see
a greasy track.
the track still greasy, it says. Track temperature 27 degrees as well, so things are warming up, heating up, literally on track. And track temperature 27, air temperature 23 degrees. That wind 5 kilometres, sort of in an easterly direction there. Not that I'm much of a weatherman. I sound a bit like Tony Gregg with the pitch reports. But here comes
Hard and
Voodoo,
fast.
hard and fast. And if I just jump up and down on my key pretty hard, I think he lost a few keys there in the cracks, but God bless Tony. Absolutely miss Tony, Greg and Richie and all those guys. But Voodoo, thank you, Tony. God bless you. But Voodoo, 3.4 seconds, so he's losing time sort of across the top of the mountain there, and he's was gaining a little bit of it, but now it's still 3.4 seconds. Jimbo has closed. It was 7 seconds, wasn't it? So he's caught up a couple of tenths, and Caleb has dropped now a couple of seconds further back. So
Voodoo's
that
closer here. I reckon could be even in the 2 seconds here.
Yeah, Voodoo looks a lot closer.
And well, it's a funny one. He looks closer, doesn't it, than that?
Oh, well, I said almost in the 2 seconds. It's 3.005. So, yep, close enough. We'll call it.
And not quite close enough, Wilco, but I know what you're trying to say.
Check these lap times.
As Wilco keeping an eye on those lap times now. And what would be going through Binger's mind at the moment, Jacko? You've spent plenty of time out in front. Like you said, we haven't...
205.3. Voodoo. 204.7. Big swing there.
Big swing there. And 2.8 seconds now, that gap. But Jacko,
204.3 for Jimbo.
What's going through Binger's mind at the moment, mate? He's out in the lead of this race. Changeable conditions. The track's drying out. What's he going to be trying to do here? 13 laps gone in this race and still 15 minutes to go.
I would hate to speculate. It could be anything from panic to extreme calm, knowing the pit stop phase is done. But I hope for his sake that it's towards that calm end of the spectrum, and he's just making sure that gap doesn't come down too low. So he's under a bit of, too much pressure from Voodoo, and it looks like he's just going to make sure he stays out of the walls. That's what I'd be thinking, and hopefully for him, he's thinking the same thing.
Yes, he's coming up with some traffic as well there, Jacko. Somebody coming across the hill. It was a green car, and who is that again? Is that
it's Good Vibes, I believe.
Good Vibes down there in 10th. He's a fair way off the lead, but Binger, well, once again, he's catching some traffic. We saw him catch It's the Wolf at the worst possible time at the top of the mountain, but here he comes, coming down the mountain, and once again, and he's trying to go down the inside there. Good Vibes, very nice, getting out of the way. So he might lose a couple of tenths from that, but it looked all nice and clean there. And I reckon Voodoo's going to catch him, Wilco, in a much more friendlier spot coming down Conrod Straight. He might get that, Good Vibes out of the way, but the gap looks a bit bigger now, I reckon, as Binger. We see him on your screen, our race leader, and the man who took pole position very early on in that session. And then the rain started to come down, and then he missed the start, but he managed to get through the field nice and quickly and take that lead, but less than 3 seconds, so it's fluctuating a little bit with 13 seconds to go. And Rick Oztech, that in P9 there, Nobby Nuts Racing P8, so less than a second. We might check on that, but we might just keep an eye. We've got Wilco keeping an eye on these lap times as Binger comes across the line. Voodoo's through past the traffic, and he's got
the exact same lap time.
Well,
204.88 for Binger, a 204.86 for Voodoo there. So definitely back to trading lap times again.
Absolutely
Oh,
nothing.
Caleb's in the pits. Second pit stop for Caleb.
He's crashed, so he's got big damage on the front of the car. I can see the windscreen's all cracked.
So looks to be a bit of damage there, so that's going to keep his pit crew busy.
Yeah, it's pulling to the left. Oh dear.
Well, why did it? He must have had another incident, I reckon, fellas, that we didn't see. We saw on the stream. We saw him fighting with Jimbo for P3 before he bottled at the top of the hill, but he must have had an incident somewhere else, and he's back in the pits. So how far Rose Racing will go through, I think. OGT as well. So Kilroy might even go through.
Check the replay right now, so we'll see what happens.
So that's going to cost him dearly, Jacko.
Oh, he hit the wall going down Skyline. He missed the turn in, and then tried to get it back on track. He bounced over the curb at Skyline and went straight into that blue wall on the right there. He hit that hard. That's big damage.
So straight in. Was that on the lap he's come in, or?
Yep.
So straight in the pits then for Caleb, who was starting to he was fighting, like we said, he was fighting with Jimbo for P3 before he lost control the first time, and now he's got damage yet again after another incident, and he is in the pit, so he's gone down there. Rose Racing now up to 4th, and we should be keeping an eye on these. We might sort out all the points, etc. at the end of this one, but Voodoo looks like he's a good thing to take 2nd in that championship. I know
Which
that
will
for a
also
fact.
be the Enduro Cup too, remember? Because he was 2nd in that Spa race, so he might not get the win tonight, but he's going to win the Enduro Cup, which I think he said he wanted to win for his dad. So there you go, that'll be a good little touch there.
Great stuff, and Voodoo very consistent in the enduro rounds, but he comes through the last corner yet again. Lap 15 of this race, and those track conditions still greasy, but they are drying out ever so slightly each and every lap at 3.2 seconds now. And Voodoo's,
good save.
Oh, he's had a moment out of turn 1, but that is not going to help his cause. But having said that, he's a long way ahead of Jimbo, so no real harm done. I say that, and Jimbo flashes through the screen there, but what happened there? We're going to just lose it out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, he hit the inside curb at turn 1, which GT cars, you can get away with it in V8s around here, but GT cars don't really like hitting curbs too much, especially big curbs like turn 1 at Bathurst here. So hit that, and it sort of bounced and landed. He did do a nice save to make sure that didn't spin, but unfortunately lost that 3 and a bit seconds, so it's back to 6 seconds now. So unless Bingham makes a little mistake, this could be all over Red Rover.
It could be, but we never quite know, do we? 10 minutes remaining.
Yep.
Anything could happen in this one. 15 laps gone, and however many laps, we've got a few more laps left, however many we can get in 10 minutes, maybe 20 laps or so, 20-something laps, who knows, but 13 people watching at the moment, and a little bit quiet.
Vote for your driver of the day, people. Get your votes in. Start getting that up.
Having a look at these comments here, the end of the season. A few people just finishing the season a little bit early. Wilco not too happy with the lack of activity in the comments section. But Ridey's been watching, Big Shep, Snacken, whoever that is, and Bob Geldof, let's go Wayne, let's go Good Vibes. So a few people, maybe once Good Vibes went off the radar, they've checked out. But keep those comments coming in for Driver of the Day. And get your votes in as Binger on his merry way. Then 6 seconds that lead now. So Voodoo has lost at least 2 or 3 seconds after that incident, that little moment he had at turn 1. And then Jimbo 9 seconds further back. He's gained a little bit of time, as you would expect, but still in 3rd place. Rose Racing, OGT, that gap between those two only 4 seconds. But I think that might be the closest gap with less than 9 minutes to go. OGT, that battle for 4th position at the moment. So like we said, as it stands, Voodoo might be winning that Endurance Cup, and he also might be taking 2nd in the championship behind yourself, Jacko, and Bingham might be taking the win. We'll get all those points and stuff sorted out, and we'll show them tomorrow night. But I can't stop thinking about that championship finale, though, Wilco, for Tier 1, if you don't mind. It's going to all come down to the final race. Oh boy, it's going to be an incredible one. Shootout for the top 10 in qualifying, and we've got an hour's race, I think, Wilco, after that. So it's going to be a test for all the drivers, and only 8 points between Jason Wilkinson and Alan Suter from New Zealand, aka Mighty Murph and Wilco. And you're going to be racing tomorrow night in that one as well, Jacko?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep. You'll be there, and how good is that? And OGT then currently in 5th place, so we've only got the 4 Ferraris following the Nissan in P1 at the moment, then 2 Bentleys, and then another 2 Ferraris and another 2 Bentleys. A bit of Noah's Ark, as Martin Brundle always says, doesn't he? The Q3, but it's the Wolf rounding out your top 10. Good Vibes outside of the top 10 now, so he's not scoring any points. Neither is that man, Jason Wilkinson or Jacko there. But there is our Tier 2 champion. No need for him to go out onto the track at the moment because he's up here in the commentary box with us. But it's Binger now. That gap, 8 seconds. 8 seconds in front now. And with 7 minutes remaining, Jacko, that is going to be a very big mountain to climb, if you pardon the pun, for Voodoo here in the final minutes of this race.
Yeah, it does look like Binger has at least one hand on the trophy for the Bathurst race. But what I'm looking at now, actually, is the battle for third in the championship. It looks like it's going to be a dead heat on points between Kilroy and Rose Racing if the positions stay as they are. But I think Kilroy, with one win, will take that position in the championship.
Yes.
Interesting stuff, of course. It goes back to the wins, and with 6.5 minutes left in this race, like you said, Jacko, Binger, we reckon he's got this one done, barring any mistakes, of course. And like we said, don't forget tomorrow night, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. sharp for the Tier 1 Championship finale. And, well, I'm just looking forward to that one, Wilco. To bed nice and early tonight, ready for that one. And not too sure what Merv's doing, but there has been a bit of banter going around on the PSN chat throughout the course of the week. And how good is this this updated app? You can just can just jump on and chat like you're on your phone, Wilco. It's good, isn't it? You can just join the party at any time.
Yes, it is. I spoke to OGT at like 8 o'clock yesterday morning when I was at work, and he was jumping on for some practice or doing something with his league maybe, and had a nice little chat for about 10 minutes, and then said I better get back to work. So, sorry boss, I was on the important phone call there.
Probably not. You're just letting those bosses know. Wilco, I'm sure Shep will bar you out on that one. But by the way, if anyone's out there watching and knows where we can get our hands on a PS5, please let us know in the comments. And had my dodgy mate offer me some dodgy version from Russia. But anyway, I probably shouldn't say that. But Binger now still leading this race. 5 minutes. Who is your driver of the day? Excellent question, Wilco. As they got the text coming through. What does Mum reckon? No, she's just texting. Yep, no, not too sure. Yep, she knows I commentate on Thursday nights. But I'm just digressing for a second because it's Binger coming through the final corner, Murray's Corner. They're in first position now through to lap 18 of this race. And I've got to agree, Wilco, it's my Bingerling and who is my driver of the day, your driver of the day as well. It's going to be hard to go past him, doesn't it, Jacko, after storming through the field in the early part of this race to take the lead, and he just has not put a foot wrong since.
I think it's a no-brainer, actually, absolutely Binger for this race. But I think we should turn our attention to the battle for fourth because OGT is now right on the back of Rose Racing.
Here we go.
Let's have a look at that. OGT, we'll get back to you, Bingerling. But OGT is all over the back of LJR Rose Racing. So this could have some championship. And I tell you what, look at this. OGT's very close. And Rose Racing, he'll want to stay in front. He'll want to stay in fourth, of course, as we take a quick look at those points there. You can see 80 points compared to Kilroy on 84. You said it's going to be tight, those championship points at the end of this one, Jacko, but OGT very close. This is the closest battle now on the circuit. It's the field fairly spread out in this one, but where is the best possible opportunity for OGT to get this move done? He's not close enough at the moment. But these two boys matching each other for pace. And there's only, what do you reckon, 2 or so laps left in this one, possibly, depending on where Binger is. But OGT, he's getting...
Probably 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go until the end of this one. 2 more laps to go in this season for Tier 2. What a magnificent championship we have seen as we take a look now from the helicopter view and the Google Earth sort of view of this battle. But look at this across. They come through your screen now, OGT and Rose Racing. That gap, absolutely nothing in it, and Rose Racing is going to be under all sorts of pressure here in the final couple of laps of this race. And Jacko, Binger is your driver of the day. So thank you for getting your votes. It'd be nice if we could get some other votes, but at the moment there's 3 votes for Bingerling. No need for a recount there. But so it looks like Binger will be staying in the White House so far, but we've still got a few minutes left to get your votes in. But OGT now coming off the top of the mountain down Conrod Straight, and can he make a move here? Rose Racing, will he get a bit of slipstream here? And OGT, well, that Rose Racing, the Ferrari's fairly slippery down that straight, but OGT
75, 280, 282 he hit before he had to lift off, but that's pretty big when they're running I think these boys running the same setup. Voodoo's does all the setups for all the Ferrari drivers. yeah, these boys are probably running the same setup. So it's going to be down to just natural slipstream and a bit of a drag on the exit corners.
Well, let us know.
I don't want to speculate too much, but I think Rose Racing may have some damage because he was being caught at a rate of knots by OGT prior to this little battle.
Well, it's interesting stuff. Rose Racing could have damage. They did look evenly matched, didn't they, at the top end, down the bottom end, I should say, of Conrod Straight. But is there a bit of damage on that Ferrari?
Binger's got some traffic ahead here.
And Binger with some traffic. Who is that? Rick Oztech, our most improved.
But there's also... It's the Wolf has just got out of the way of... Well, he's about to get out of the way of Voodoo here, so it's not really over yet. Rick's going to get out of the way. Rick usually gets out of the way. So hopefully he doesn't play any games here and actually uses his mirrors, and you might see him, which he's trying to get out of the way, but going on the inside, that corner is not really a good point. He was trying to get out of the way, I can see what he's trying to do, but again, Bingo did some nice heads-up driving there and didn't turn him around.
Well, that's hard in the mouth stuff there, but here comes Binger through the final corner. Then we're going to have one more lap. You're going to hear the race control.
Leader is on the final lap now.
Leader is on the final lap now. I love that voice. It sounds a little bit like Lewis, doesn't it? Yeah, we had nothing as kids. My dad worked 3 jobs, and you know, it's just so hard, you know. But we managed to get here, and I just want to say, if you can dream it, you can do it. Good stuff. And sorry about that, but good on him. Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff from Lewis there. 90-something wins in this championship. He's not going to get to the big 100 until next year. Who knows? We might see win number 100 in Australia, Wilco. Down there.
Hopefully not.
I'm sure you'd love that, but there we go. The time.
Hopefully see Lewis retired. That's another story.
And don't say that. Is he put pen to paper yet? No, I don't think he has.
All side by side here for P4.
All P4. Thank
albeit
you.
Briefly.
Thank you, Jacko. We were shitting on there, but we've missed this as OGT. Look at that. Rose Racing trying to cover him off, heading into the final corner. OGT is through, and now they're going to make contact, but Rose Racing keeps his foot in it, Jacko, and stays in front. Wow, what a battle at the end of this race for P4. And OGT's going to have another go down the inside now through turn
contact.
1. And they've made contact there, Jacko, but Rose Racing, they're both side by side again. We suspect that Rose Racing might have some damage on that Ferrari of his, but this is pivotal, isn't it, Jacko, for the championship for Rose Racing, of course?
Position-wise, no, actually, because it'll be equal if he stays in front and Kilroy has that win. So, no, just for pride at the moment for P4 in this race.
And look at that. Cart Dude checking in. Said, did Jimbo bing it? And, well, I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I don't know if that's meant to be a Binger pun or it's a misspell, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that's a Binger pun. And, no, Jimbo did have to lead at the start, but he had a slow pit stop, and yeah, pretty much once Voodoo and Binger got in front, they drove away.
Here we go then. Look at that. Through the final corner, my Bingerling comes out onto the start-finish straight. And that is it. Binger takes victory here. He's the king of the mountain for Tier 2 of KRL in the season finale. Good result for Voodoo as well. Across the line, he'll take P2 here tonight. And P2 in the championship as Jimbo Jones comes alongside Rick Oztech there across the line.
Back to this battle.
Jimbo P3, but this battle's not over yet, Wilco. Look at this down Conrod Straight. They were having a good old ding-dong battle. We were calling the action there at the start of this final lap, but Rose Racing and OGT.
Kilroy's only 7 seconds behind here, so if these two have a little mistake here, Kilroy might be able to pounce.
And look at this. This is so close. It is not over yet. OGT, last of the late breakers, but they're still side by side. OGT off, but Rose Racing has a moment as well. He loses the rear end, but OGT is through, and the Army will be very happy with that. Down to the final corner, and great battle there. And it's kept things interesting at the end of this race, but OGT takes 4th position. What an epic battle it has been. Rose Racing finishes in 5th, 4th and 5th respectively. Kilroy rounds out your top 6, and Nobby Nuts is coming around the final few corners. Is he at the moment? Here he comes in the 199 Bentley. Well, it was a bit of a dull race there, but good of OGT and Rose Racing to spice things up towards the end of this one. Driver of the day, keep those votes coming in. but it is My Bingaling, and I want you to vote for My Bingaling. And Nobby Nuts finishes in 7th. And what's Rick Oztech doing? He's finished. He's part of that car park there at turn 1. Caleb, disappointing for Caleb, isn't it? He had to make that second pit stop after damage, that incident he had. And as our race winner joins the party chat, it's the Wolf. Good vibes, Wilco and the rest of them. Jacko, their Tier 2 champion, if you don't mind. He's alongside us in the commentary box. Wilco, as our top 3, join the party for the post-race interviews.
Yes, so I've invited the top 3, and I've also invited OGT, Rose Racing, and Kilroy, because
good on you, man.
I'd like to hear that, little chat there between OGT and Rose Racing, because that was an awesome finish. But first off, we'll start off with Binger. So Binger, mate, missed the start by the looks of it, and come back through the field to get the pretty comfortable win in the end. How was that race for you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, mate. Yeah, besides the pit lane start, a bit slow on getting the old wet setup organised, but it was a rocket ship in the rain, so I just worked my way back through. I think I pitted a lap earlier than Jimbo, which sort of gave me the jump on him when I put the dries on, and Voodoo was coming there at the end. I just had to try and keep consistent pace to hold him off, and yeah, it was a good race. No mistakes.
Good stuff.
Well done, mate. So Voodoo, I'll let Jacko, you can take this one. So Voodoo, first off, I'll just say congrats, mate, P2, and of course that is the Enduro champ for you as well, championship for that. So
I'll take
you've won something this season, so it's been good. But Jacko, please take away the interview here.
Yeah, so Voodoo, we saw an earlier pit stop from you in this race. Was that inspiring the rest of the Ferrari boys in the party, or was that a correct call, you believe?
It was just a late-minute decision. I was watching the tyres heat up each lap, and I just, there was dry lines form, and I was like, let's just take the pit now, get onto the dry set, and, deal with them not heating up. It was better than them overheating. So, we started pulling quicker and quicker laps, and, ended up getting there.
Yes, and well done. So, Trev, I'll get you to take away the Jimbo interview here. So, take it away.
All right, Jimbo, mate. P3. Happy with that result today, mate? You had some pace there in the early part of that race, mate. But as the conditions dried out, you sort of found yourself in P3. Could you have done any more than that today, mate? Or are you just happy to take the podium for the season finale?
For the season finale, we're happy just to take the podium. I lost a bit of speed once it started drying out and had nothing for Voodoo or Binger at the end there. So I was sort of just hanging in with what I had.
And just a final question, Jimbo, before we let you go, mate. The end of the season, any plans post-season now? Is it time to party, or will you be getting phasmophobia and joining Voodoo, Jacko, and myself in... you keep saying about me being scared shitless, mate. Any chance you might join us for a game in the future?
Nah, mate, you're on your own there, buddy. You're on your own there.
Come on, Jimbo.
I'm happy to watch.
Come on, Jimbo. Just a couple of demons.
I get scared enough to just watch it.
There we go. He loves it, doesn't he, Jimbo? Send Trev in. Let him stay in the lounge room there all by himself.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Jimbo. You just sit tight there, mate. But congratulations.
Not salty at all, Trev.
No, there we go. Buddy, I think it was Ruth who absolutely scared the shit out of me. But thank you for that, Jimbo. You finished P3, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Jimbo Jones there. P3, not a bad little way to round out his season, I should say. But we've heard from our top 3. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. If you are just joining us, don't forget tomorrow night, oh boy, the championship decider. It's so big, we've even made a special graphic up for it.
We haven't, Voodoo has, but yep.
Voodoo has, yep. I say we are, we're a family here at KRL, aren't we?
Yeah.
Thank you to you, Voodoo, for all your hard work during the season, for the thumbnails, the graphics, and all the awesome stuff that you've been providing us with, mate. Much appreciated and valued member of this team. But tomorrow night, like we said, the action is not over, as Luke gets his vote in. Thank you, Binger, driver of the day. But 8 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Time, and wherever you're watching, right around the world, don't forget to tune in. It is the championship finale for Tier 1 and the final race of the season. 8 points between Mighty Murph and Jason Wilkinson, and boy, that is going to be absolutely incredible. And thanks for everyone joining us on the stream. A little bit quiet on the comments tonight, but thank you to Luke, Cart Dude, Snackin', Righty, Voodoo, all the regular names, Bob as well. Mystery Man said, "Let's go, Wayne." But thank you for that. But thank you, boys, as well. Wilco and Jacko for being alongside me in the commentary box tonight.
One last thing. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
problem.
Just one last thing. I just wanted to. I brought OGT, Kilroy, and Rose Racing in. But I just wanted to get a little bit of words from both these boys. How was that little battle at the end for P4, OG and Luke there?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I tried so hard not to make contact there, brother. I'm sorry about that, but I wish you were in the party because I was like, fuck, oh fuck. I threw it in there, man. Last lap, I figured the gloves are off, brother.
Yeah.
That was bloody awesome.
I had damage, so I just went really defensive. When I rear-ended you, I think when someone spun, then you hit them, and I hit you.
Yeah.
And then I still carried that damage, and I was like, let's go really defensive.
I ended up fixing mine. I had 52 seconds, so I just went, fuck it, and I fixed it.
Yeah.
And that was wicked, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
And good on the boys on the podium. And
Cheers.
the KRL boys in the inner sanctum for getting it all going. It's been a blast coming back, boys. Can't wait to see what you've got lined up for next season.
Oh yes, and that'll all be announced tomorrow night. And lastly, Voodoo wants to say something first off.
Yeah, I was going to jump in. Me and Luke have been participating in an endurance series on the PC side of Assetto Corsa. Luke managed to do the final stint and drive us home at Laguna Seca in the 2 hour. We went from 9th to 2nd, so
it was bloody good to watch too, boys.
We're back at Zadvort next Sunday.
Very, very important too.
Yep.
Team KRL.
Yeah. Next Sunday, Zadvort, Team KRL are going to bring it home again, so sure to tune in.
Go the boys.
Roger that.
Yes, very good. So make sure you click on the
Voodoo.
Vids for Voodoo's channel and make sure you subscribe. But last man in the party I haven't spoke to yet. So Kilroy, mate, bit of a lonely race. Had a bit of a I must have missed out the good track conditions in quali and started at the back, but got up to P6.
Yeah, I got out about a half a lap too late in qualifying, I think. And so yeah, that put me kind of
on the back foot.
I think I ended up starting 8th or something.
Yeah, but
then I missed the start.
Yeah,
so
I saw that too.
Yeah,
but yeah, we saw we had Jacko quickly working out points, and it was you. Was it P4 or was it P3 that?
P3 in the championship.
P3 you got in the championship, so it was between you and Luke at the end there, but Luke losing out to OG meant that it would have been a draw.
Worse.
No, it would have been a draw, so Kilroy would have won anyway.
So much for Team Ferrari.
But Kilroy would have won anyway because they had the same points and Kilroy had a race win. So still what on there, so P3 in the championship, and we'll catch all you boys tomorrow night, I guess. So
hey, congrats to Binger and Voodoo and Jimbo, good race for us.
Yeah, good on to you too, Jacko, for taking it away that you didn't have to race the last two, mate.
Notable mentions. Cheers to Trev and Wilco for everything you boys have done this season. There's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and you guys definitely pull your weight there. So thank you very much for everything you've done this season, and we look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Have
fellas.
a good one, everyone.
Great stuff,
Good
team
racing.
effort, and well done, boys, throughout the whole season. Like we said, a lot of stuff goes into this behind the scenes, and we appreciate everyone with the work that they do. So thank you for that. Well, we're almost out of time. Like we said, Tier 1 tomorrow night. Jacko, thank you, mate. Congratulations. Champion for Tier 2, who's been good enough to join us for the last 2 weeks of this Tier 2 season. Mate, Jacko, thank you, and we'll catch you next season, or tomorrow night, I should say, before anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
And great stuff. Who knows, we'll have some announcements coming soon. Tomorrow night, be there, Wilco. And yeah, good on, just having a look at these photos there on my phone. Tay setting some good times on that wheel as well. She might be in Tier 2 next season. It'd be nice if she didn't go through the packet of Freddo frogs before she just goes on to Daddy's wheel. So that'd be nice, Toto, who's all tucked up in bed. But anyway, thank you to everybody for joining us. Don't forget, like we said, tomorrow night, championship finale for Tier 1, so tune in from 8 p.m. It's been great to have you with us, right, not just this week, but right throughout the season. Stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.